Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid, and I'm joined once again by Sakaning.
Hello, everybody.
We missed turn 22. We left off last time with turn 21, and we're on turn 23. And so this is kind of... The war with the Dongers is winding down. We didn't really have to fight very much.
Yeah, actually, we kind of got exactly what we wanted, which is a bunch of land for not much effort.
Oh, we did. This is actually freaking hilarious. We went to go raid this because we were like, oh, nobody's going to take it. And Imperia, who's the nation that we were fighting over the vultured remains of,
they're our nation to the south with the Centurions.
Right.
Yeah.
They had done a huge PD dump.
Probably from earlier in the war with the Dongers. They didn't PD dump for us.
Yeah.
I don't think.
It's RCK playing this nation. He's got a YouTube channel and stuff. But I was joking with him. I was like, holy shit, dude, was that for us? He was like, no, you're the third army we've killed.
It's funny because a lot of people in this game, a lot of sacreds are anti-elite sacreds, right? Like there's a lot of ours, for example, but many others are anti-elite sacreds. And just 100 militia will kill that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the worst PD ever, but
we did not have stuff that is tooled up to deal with hordes of chaff. At least not now. I think our Garms, once we get in the late game and we get regen on them and protection buffs, they're gonna be fucking monsters.
I mean, they'll take, they'll take a while to kill 100 things, but they're guaranteed to kill one a turn.
So this is actually kind of interesting. This is Maryland's nation and Vinisar. And so this is Vinland is the nation name. And I don't know, have we seen their bless before on the video? I can't remember.
Probably, but here it is as a reminder.
Right. It's an elf bless, basically. It's the status, resistance, magic weapons, defense stuff.
But on Van Heers, which, defense on Van Heers is... I don't know what else you'd take with your water, but honestly, I'd take cold weapons because
defense on Van Heers is kind of wasted. Because they lose 5 defense when they go berserk. So, but the status resistance and the magic weapons is super nice on them.
For sure. So they have Van Heers, they have centaurs, and their mages are the Alm Master Smiths and Dryads. And other things.
And these, by the way, are what I would call weak Van Heers. Going for this stat resistance bless, it covers a lot of holes. So it fixes a lot of holes, but it doesn't take the strengths and turn them into juggernauts. And there's other blesses which turn them into early game complete freaking juggernauts. And this bless does not do that, but it doesn't seem like they want it to. It seems like they just want to have a good sacred unit and cover the holes in it. And, they're not planning on it just solo steamrolling stuff.
Yeah. Although, not the choice I would make, I think, even in this game format.
Yeah.
But, they have an Earth Melkart. So these guys have the other Melkarts. We have the expensive ones.
Right. And he's got an arena item, which gives him luck and quickness, which is kind of cool.
But he might not have any research, unfortunately, right? So I don't think he can do Iron Skin.
I think he might. No, Gift to the First Soul. So that gives him extra regen. So he's up to 20% regen. If he got his protection's super high, too. Oh, no, he's got Iron Skin off.
He does have Iron Skin. Good for him.
The Condors look like they've routed. But now the Van Heers are coming in. I love the animations for this. The Warp Man did the animations, and he does a fair amount of modding stuff. This looks great. Well, it looks weird when I do it so fast, but... Yeah. And unfortunately for him, these air elementals that they summoned are actually doing a tremendous amount of work, because he's got Shock Malice.
Oh no.
He could have done resist lightning and it would have gotten rid of this. And with the 20% regen, that might have been enough. But you can see, I bet you almost all of these are going to be the shock damage coming through here. I know that hit him for 9. I'm looking for more than 0, 1. Anyway. Okay. Well, we just heard the thing. That was, yeah, hit for 18 points. Yeah, and there's another guy somewhere around here that's doing the same thing.
And there are like no vans surrounding him yet.
And he's
right?
about dead now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, the vans aren't that scary to him. They're really chip damage territory because they don't have Achilles Bless, and he's not really going to set them berserk.
Yeah, but you have two attacks. Yeah. You have 6 attacks per square of chip damage would also be pretty deadly. Because the centaurs are only 2 attacks per square.
I heard it at the end. Yeah, I don't think my audio for the game is going to come through for you, but it was an air elemental that finished him off. So, you know, you don't see a ton of small air elementals. This was size 3 ones, and it was a very good call of these guys to do that. They must have known what was in there. So,
well, they're also great to just disrupt when you're doing a fort storming, right? Just get flyers in there.
So he lost a lot of the condors, but he didn't really lose any van heres, and he didn't really lose any. He lost 1 master smith, but this is a pretty. This could have gone sideways. That was this battle. Wait, whoops. So I think that's all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we notice, this nice stack of Stongers.
Right.
Which are the Anakites.
Yeah.
So we were afraid here, because spoilers, we're from the future. This is way past us, and so we thought that he might attack us in this rich province that we took from him, where you see all our reinforcements going.
Right.
So we've kind of scripted a defense for that.
And when somebody gets in this desperate of a position, it's really hard to predict what they're going to do. I think like the logical move is for them to go back and try to defend their cap, maybe like try to force a battle here.
Yeah.
But we were like the third ones to the party in a way. And
so they might want to punish us.
Right.
That's also
we were kind of expecting they might want to do that.
And if they like, it's not crazy because they could, if they like counter raid, quote unquote, right? If they take that battle, then head east to their capital. Like, it's not like the elves are gonna, break their fort walls in one turn.
Right.
So they would have time to get back. Anyway, so we scripted. Fortunately, we do have, quite a few guys, but our guys aren't quite Anakites. Our guards are good, but Anakites are also good.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of them.
Yeah, I don't think our guys necessarily trade awesome 1-to-1 with an Anakite, but they really love to be hitting Anakites while the Anakites are hitting anything else. And, we're summoning a fair amount of imps, and the imps can fit in the same tile as these guys and maybe absorb a few hits.
Yep.
And then we're going to have Power the Reborn King on our Long Dead. I think we would crush them if they attacked us. But
did we PD them this?
No, we just did 10.
No, 10.
I think we got some,
Sure.
But yeah, so we were kind of prepared for that. And we also had, I think you had the idea to have these guys do Holy Word. I think we're doing Divine Channeling so they could spam Holy Word, which is a kind of cool idea.
Yeah, it makes them holy too. So if you get a few stuns off on the Anakites, that really matters. And mostly this was just about like finagling, like how do we get because we don't have any blood economy yet, right? So we had like 9 slaves, I think, in the whole nation, and it was like, how do we get them to this province?
Right.
And because actually we were considering what we didn't do is we did not have a lot of communion masters, nurses, to do like smite spam, which we could have done, right? So
but it probably would have come at the cost of some of the imps or something,
Yeah, exactly, because unfortunately for blood communions, you have to spend a slave to get into it.
Yeah.
And so we had to choose between imps or like having 3 or 4 smiters, and we decided to go for the imps instead of for the smiters.
And this is early enough in the game. If we lost all these, this is probably like about 35 Gamherdings or Churgeons. It would be enough to potentially trigger a war with somebody else attacking us. So
it'd be the kind of thing you'd want to keep secret.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
and avoid happening, right? So that's
Well,
why
yes.
Yeah, we're a little worried about it because it would be a very good FU for him to come in and do that and take it, because you post that in the game chat. I think we would still be able to defend ourselves, because we're not in any way, shape, or form all in down here. This is just like what we had in the region, but it would diminish our ability to defend ourselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, all right, and research. Let's talk about that super quick. We've got construction 4 finished, and I think that actually happened, Sack, before like maybe last turn.
Probably. We don't have the file for last turn, but that sounds about right.
So it's probably good to mention what we're doing, because this is a huge part of our strategy and what we were talking about. We've got this guy forging an amulet of the dead. We've got these 2 guys making amulets of the dead.
We just have, because last turn they probably did a bunch of hammers, and now it's amulet of the dead time. I think there's probably another fort. There's one more.
Yeah, and I think we're making... If we're not... Yeah, we're not doing it yet. We're soon going to be making Sanguine Dowsing Rods, which is the other thing that gets unlocked with Construction 4, so...
Yeah. So we're going to ramp up, Buddhas, hammers, amulets of the dead, Sanguine Dowsing Rods.
Yeah.
And we're on our way to Construction 6.
Yeah, we've got it plugged in here. Enchantment 3, Construction 6.
Yeah. Everything else at 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little greedy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that being said, we have a lot of core stuff. We've got Legions of Steel, Strength of Giants. We already have Power of the Reborn King, which is going to be the attack bonus for Long Dead. And the construction's going to be good for our Melkorts if we want to use them. So there's some. Yeah. It's not complete greed, but it's greed.
Well,
but it's greed.
Yeah, but the other thing too is that because this is. The only units we have are the sacreds.
Yeah.
And because of the nature of our sacreds, it's not like there isn't anything else useful to get in the 5s, Like, we aren't looking for buffing chaff, right? Or point buffs,
I mean, if you told me the game was going to be over in 10 turns and we're going to measure the winner by how many provinces you have, I don't think we would go for Construction 6.
Fair enough, right? But right. But so, for example, point buffs are pretty bad on 1 per tile giants, right?
Yeah.
So if you had units that you wanted to point buff, then it's totally worth getting, Alt 4 or wherever, things like that. But we don't, so we're not doing that, basically.
Right. Yeah.
And we're getting 2 big brains. I think we have one already. I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, we're getting one here. I don't know if we have one yet. I think that's our first one. Our capital is going to make a lot of nurses. I'm just gonna say we're so goddamn poor. But
this
is poor. Zach and you and I talked for so long about making this guy. I mean, it was like
it was agonizing.
I mean, it was
when
like
are we gonna make it?
It was like peasants or something in 17th century England saving up for their I don't know, their first pair of shoes they bought in 2 years. We were like, oh my God, do you think we can do it, honey? And,
yeah. That's exactly. So, we should talk, actually, for us, it's been a while since we've recorded, but, and also we're much further ahead in the game. For you guys, of course, the last episode was just another regular episode. But to remind ourselves, of the flow of the narrative here, we unfortunately don't have very rich lands. We have some more now because actually we have 2 pretty nice provinces in the southeast that we picked up.
Yeah, these are mostly EA numbers. These don't feel like MA population levels.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty rough.
And
except for these, but
yeah, except for that one. But spoilers. We could reveal spoilers. But that nice one in the southeast.
Oh, this one, the pop
is going to have the 15,000 pop. It's going to have an event where 4,000 people are going to leave.
Yeah,
the barbarians aren't going to kill them.
God damn it.
Yeah. Right. So, and not only that, but we're going to be blood hunting a lot, right? Yeah. So our income is going to be even less than this. And we're just trying to get forts up and labs and temples, and we want milk carts and big brains for site searching, and we just can't have all the things that we want, and it's very sad.
I mean, looking back on it, Zach, thank God we didn't get any troops.
Well, when would we have ever recruited them?
We have no money. We can barely justify getting the Garms out of our cap.
Yeah.
I mean, we need them. If we don't, especially, we're still at this phase in the game. Eventually, we're going to turn the Garms off. Right now, where we are way forward in the game, we're flickering them on and off. But now we definitely need them because it's still not clear who all might attack us. And if we get attacked and we have not been slamming Garms every single turn, we're going to be in big trouble. So we're slamming the Garms.
So maybe that's a good transition into talking about who we think is going to attack us and how Diplo is going to evolve. Because I think we're thinking maybe we might kind of fast forward through the next few turns in the game.
Yeah.
And we could talk about diplomacy and how it stands right now, at least involving our neighbors.
Yeah.
So we know. So as you can see, Ctalis, which is the purple flag, they are wrapping up killing the Retarius nation. That makes them pretty big. They're basically they swallowed up basically most of that nation. And then Gripazan, which is the brown nation, has eaten. They got most of Dongers. Now we don't see that yet, but we will. Like they'll get most. They'll get the cap.
Maybe we talk because I think we want to pull up each of these turns. Maybe we talk about some of this as it happens because we're not going to have. You're taking away all the things we're going to talk about.
Well,
they're going to get the cap. That's like the highlight of the next few turns.
Okay, that's it. Okay, fair enough. It wasn't such an epic.
No. I mean, it's going to be this episode. So
it's just what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. All right, let's do it.
Let's do what you're saying, but let's do it over the course of these next turns. Yeah. So, because you can see, like, there's not much for us to sit here and talk about. We found a magic site. This is an Air 2 site and a Well of Pestilence, which Sack spotted. So this was we
targeted. Saw there were death scales.
Yeah.
We could just click real quick.
This is kind of cool because this is Van Heer's a fair number, but not a ton, versus a pretty good amount of PD. And this is actually a really good PD type. It was Cataphracts, so. But I think this is like 30 PD. But yeah, you can see Van Heer's don't really care. 27 PD, I think. And this is in the capital of Imperia.
Yeah.
And they're just pinging this to see what's inside, because they're not in a hurry. They got a Shadow Seer. Did they draft this, or was this lucky? I think this is lucky, right?
Must be lucky.
Wow. God, that's super lucky. Okay. And
we did not get attacked.
Yeah, we don't get attacked.
Yeah.
So what the Dongers have done instead is basically come back here to this fort to defend. And so I think we just go to the next turn. The elves have moved this party here, and we're expecting these guys are going to storm the fort now, especially after seeing how little's inside. The other thing we have heard is that these two have negotiated over the cap. Oh, by the way, the Dongers asked me, I think this turn, because it was the turn they didn't attack us, they asked me if we were going to leave them alone. And I was like, I mean, what do you mean? And they were like, if we fight and get our cap back, like, can we go off and attack other people and you leave us alone? I was like, we have no more claim on any more territory. So as long as you don't mess with us, we're not going to go after you. And he's like, sweet.
Right.
And so anyway, we had that discussion because we've talked also with these two, and we told them we don't have any claim on this cap. And they both kind of wanted it, but I think the elves were happy to let Gripazan take the final killing blow, anticipating, I think, that it might be difficult. Though I think this might go to the elves. I can't remember. I don't think the Gripazon ends up keeping this. I think this gets negotiated as part of the cap thing, that this goes to the elves. I think the other thing of note is we keep asking what's happening underwater and nobody will tell us a goddamn thing. I've never seen... They're in like a life and death struggle over here underwater.
Yeah.
It's GC and Ballin versus HP Munchcraft and Darkwolf. And
GC has like is it the not Pelagia?
Oh,
the
yeah,
Pelagia Sacred, right?
Yeah.
And
Knights of the Deep.
Yeah, and the other guys have like Lestragonian Tyrants, I think. Is that nation?
Yeah, and they have the Astertoots, or however you say it, the LA Atlantis Sacred. Oh, let me pull it up. Corvecian. This is it. Yeah, so they have these guys as their sacred. And they have these dudes.
Meteorite. Yeah.
Yeah. And these guys and these guys. So. And Melia. The idea, they have also teaching signs, so these guys are really good thugs. Okay. But anyway, we're anxious to know. I mean, not that it really matters to us that much in the sense of...
It'll matter in the long term. Right now, It doesn't affect us.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't affect any of our day-to-day operations. But I'm also just extremely curious because we were expecting them to already be dead by now. Like we were expecting them to die to Knights of the Deep, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, let's go to do you have any thoughts on this turn?
No, I think, I think both of our thoughts are probably going to be for like the next 5 to 10 turns combined, right? We've had like some growing notions about what we should be doing.
And I think one of the things that's kind of guiding us too is we need to walk this line of being big enough to be able to defend ourselves and be relevant. But because we have a nation that I think everybody appreciates scales very well, we do not ever want to step into position 1.
Or
even 2
or 3 for that matter.
Yeah, we want to like cruise at position 4. But we don't. If position,
but it has to be like a strong 4,
a strong 4, a strong 4. If we get to be like a weak nation, then we'll get axed. So, but it's also interesting because us being a strong 4 also provides some cover for position 1 because they can be like, hey, if you go after us, then Lucid and Sack might get into position 1, and then y'all are really fucked.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the biggest challenges for us, I mean, for me and you, is that as you guys will see, as the situation evolves, there aren't really great war opportunities for us. And it feels real bad to stay number 4. It feels really bad to not go and grow your land and your empire. Yeah. Because that's something that both me and you are just like, what are we doing? Like, we need to go and like conquer somebody, like Diplo for a 2v1 or just take on we need to. And
kind of, I mean, I definitely will go into a phase in the game where like, I don't feel like I always have to be fighting, but
fair enough.
I don't love being position 4.
Right. But also like, tell me that, as these turns have gone by, you haven't just been like, man, our borders haven't changed in a long time.
Yeah. But I think the other thing, too, is it all goes back to one of the things we were talking about at the beginning. Well, let's talk about this. We'll come back to that. So these are mercs that charge through the gate. And so he presumably doesn't care about these. And
looks like that's the man hero in front. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Knight of the Stone, yeah. He just got fluffed a bit and then ran away.
It looks like he's on stay behind troops.
Oh, awkward.
And, oh yeah, these guys also have Zayedins, because of course, let's also have the Zayedins.
Zayedins and Elite Warriors.
Zayedins just casually showing up.
when Zeadans are like not the scariest thing about your nation.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's their bless real quick for those that were curious. And so yeah, it's a complete stomp.
Which is bad, right? Like we but yes, sorry.
We got attacked by knights because misfortune.
Let's
I will say this I think now it's almost an entirely misfortune game. I think the only people with luck scales got killed. I think there was Imperia.
Yeah, maybe. I just want to say we in maybe the last couple of turns and going forward a few more turns, we have like 7 knight attacks.
Yeah.
Like we went into Dongerland and got their knights too.
Yeah.
And like every single time we just happen to have an army of Garms there that just kills all the knights. Like
and there's always some event like squires have been caught scouting for a group of knights or something, and it's ridiculous. Was this one a No, this one was totally unexpected. Up here, this one has this one's already happened. Some squires have been caught and interrogated. Okay. We've got another one somewhere. There's one over here that's queued up to happen. There,
yeah.
Oh no, it's already happened. I guess this is in the past.
That was an early one.
Squires have been caught and interrogated a group of knights. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of knight bullshit.
But one of the things that we would have hoped for was that Ctalis might struggle a bit and take some casualties or slow down in any way while taking over Imperia, right? The white nation. But they didn't, and so that war did not cost them much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. So far, they've been very friendly. You know, they are our north and our south neighbor, so they are half of our war targets in a way.
Yeah.
But I think if we went and attacked them, it would be a cause. I think everybody else would attack us. But I think, too, like, looking here, there's a fair amount of elite warriors present. And these guys are here. I remember on this turn, I was feeling anxious. Like, wait, they're done now with the Imperia. Are they going to fight us? And if they're going to fight us, it's going to be... They're very strong right now. I think we could hold them off, but it would be super freaking bloody.
Yeah, because we're right now relying on our sacred still, and they have elite warriors, and that's just a terrible matchup.
This is like our sacreds are not great against it. These are great because this is piercing damage against long dead, because like it's going to take them forever. They're basically like a 10 damage unit against like these guys who have a fair amount of protection. So first of all, their 20 damage thing is going to go down to like 11 or 12, and then it's going to get cut in half to be like 6 damage coming through against 20 hit points. So it's going to take a ton of hits for them to kill one of these dudes. And then they're going to kill elite warriors in one hit. So
yeah,
as our long dead production gets up, we would do okay, and we could get through with imps and other things to survive, and probably win even an attack, like win a defensive war where we've killed all their stuff and we could attack, but definitely not something I'm interested in.
Incidentally, that's why we grabbed blood too, so we would have agony, which would be very strong against
getting the lizards to
elite
run.
warriors, because they have 9 morale only, and like AoE fear is just very, very good for that.
Yeah.
So that's a concern. We are not. We actually have a very good working relationship with Vinland to our east, because we've been doing some trades for like gems and hammers and stuff like that since the early game.
Yeah, we've given them a lot of earth. I mean, we traded it to them, so. But yeah.
Should we check on, just show them what our gem income is right now? Because I think earth is already stupid. Yeah, we already have just plus 10 earth for no good reason.
Yeah.
So that's convenient.
Yeah. But we're in this situation, like, these guys are a horrible matchup for us. Not in the sense that like we would get run over, but in the sense that definitely don't want to fight them. I think we would fight the elves pretty well. But you know, they're going to have dryads and stuff, and they've been super friendly. And I don't know, I'm hesitant. There's always enough people. Like, let me tell you, I don't trust these guys very much. And this is the other big part of the situation, is I had been talking with them, and there's two players. One of them I don't trust. The other one I don't know how much I don't trust. Or because I haven't really played with them. But I was talking with them, and they were saying, like, yeah, their neighbors to the north and south, like, failed to expand, basically, and were fighting each other over contested territory, and have just been ruining each other. And it's basically like Hellherdings versus
Morvarks, right?
Morvarks, yeah. And the Morvarks are winning, but the concern for me is these guys, in my opinion, are probably equally well designed or equally well scaling of a nation as ours. And they just get every single kind of free spawn. And they have pretty good mages. So to me, the big existential concern is like these guys getting too big, especially having weak neighbors. So, okay, I think that's this turn. You have any thoughts on this one before we go to the next?
No, well, they're not relevant to this specific turn, so let's keep going through the turns.
All right, 26. Maybe this is the last one for this episode because we're at 30 minutes.
Sure.
26, and so we can kind of have some more broader thoughts as we close this one out. We found 2 sites, Death 1, Earth 1, and then another Earth. So we're up to 12 Earth now, I think. Yep.
Yep.
Climbing that Earth ladder. And there's a battle on top of Dongerland. Get out the popcorn, boys. So we've got a bunch of these Stongers.
Who's blessed, by the way, is regen, fate weaving.
Yeah, let's let him get blessed. Oh, no. These guys got trapped behind the PD crossbows. He put them in a line, so you would expect them to be in a line, but just because of where the line was, it just happened to be in part of the PD, and these guys are stuck now.
Awkward.
But yeah, it's Heat Aura, I think, and Fate Weaving, and Regen and Blood Surge. And larger.
Regen larger. Okay, yeah. Meanwhile...
And look at these javelins, though. I mean, Jesus. Look, 21 damage. That's pretty intense. Because these guys have a Strength Bless, if I recall. Strength plus 6, yeah. So these javelins are, like, gonna peg people to trees. Yeah. And then in melee, it's just, I mean, they're all dead. I mean, this is like...
Right, and so not only...
Look at this, they're all dead.
Yeah. So, not only does he have 3 per square sacreds that are chopping pretty hard, but his chaff, in air quotes, are Dai Bakemono, which are like super amazing, like size 3 elite infantry.
Right.
He took
31
the
damage,
version.
no dachis.
That's not a sacred. That's just that's an archer that has a 31 damage 2-handed weapon.
Yeah.
And you have 2 of them per square. So they're just really strong.
Yeah, and it's like in some ways you could see how the fight, like what the Dongers wanted to have happen, and they kind of did it right. You know, like they had except for the guys that got trapped. They had a line of dudes who was going to run forward, slam into the enemy, and at the same time these guys were going to hit the back. And that happened, but these guys... Like, these guys' whole bless is about, like, we're going to sit here and hang out and chill, and meanwhile, we're going to Fate Weaving, Heat Aura you, and, you know, we're going to regen.
Yeah, they have heat resistance.
They have heat resistance, too. But, you know, they're like, this whole thing is like, we're going to chill. Like, we're going to have a long, slow battle. Yeah. And they just dissolved in the first round of contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the damage on the because they have Blood Surge, the Elven, the Tuatha?
I don't think so. I think they just took raw strength, yeah.
It's just strength, yeah. I mean, look, that golden spear, first of all, it's length 3.
Yeah.
It's got a huge attack. Does he take attack on the bless, or does it just have that much attack? That's crazy.
I think it's that much attack. I think they've got some experience stars, though.
Yeah, still. Like a 15 attack, and then it's like a 28 piercing.
Yeah, it's a killer unit. But what's interesting, and this is kind of what you were talking about earlier with like anti-elite stuff, like these guys, excuse me. These guys, if you had them wade through like 100 PD, they would do it no problem. You know, like these guys are made to wade through chaff.
Interesting, right? Because his Anakites are the elites that almost everybody in the game has designed their nation to kill.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody in this game has picked a build that can destroy Anakite or Anakite-like units.
Right. Sayedins, whatever it is, they land, and so we're gonna murder them.
And so he just showed up with a bunch of Anakites to an Anakite murdering party, and they got murdered. Yeah. Whereas Ctalis, who has the Zeadins, he showed up to the fight with 200 elite warriors.
Right. Which you don't probably want to run. This is like way overkill for elite warriors, kind of. I mean, they would do fine against them.
They'd do fine, but yeah. He has this plus dieback kimono. He'd do fantastic against elite warriors. And remember, Ctalis, the nation that he has killed was Rotarius, right? But their sacreds was the Machaca, the lion warriors, with an anti-elite build, right? Because they have the sleep weapon, and they just got wrecked by the elite warriors.
Yeah.
So you just see the difference in and all of this happened before the game started, right?
Right.
People were just thinking.
Yeah, they're imagining how it would play out, and.
But even when you pick the units, right? Like he picked Anakites thinking they would stand a chance, which is not an unreasonable thing to think, right?
Right. Okay, so. The other thing, too, was I had asked Imperia if they wanted this, and I didn't. I wanted to be friendly with them. I didn't want to, like, bully them and say, well, we're going to take it, or, like, bluster and stuff, because, quite frankly, we don't really want to fight them. And I don't really love posturing. Like, I don't want to get in a dick measuring contest when I don't want to pull out my dick, like...
so to speak, yes.
Yeah. So, I was like, hey, do y'all want to kill this as a huge PD dump here? They were like, yeah, I want it, and we want the throne. And I was like, okay, that's cool with us. And it's not that I don't think we can fight, it's that I don't want to. And I will do, and I think this is a reasonable claim. They did most of the heavy lifting in this war. So we're going to honor that, and that's basically the plan on our front here.
Yeah.
Mammoth took this throne. I feel like that might have been this turn or the last or something.
Because we were definitely thinking we might go there.
Well, we have to be careful because we're at 3 thrones now. But yeah.
Yeah, but we've been preparing. We haven't made the move yet, but I think we started the
rings of water ring and stuff. Yeah. Well, we want this too and this.
Yeah.
That one random, was it this turn? There was a random barbarian battle last turn, I think, and that was us taking this. This used to be El Shu, but they can't get to it in the summer or once our heat dominion gets in there, because they're not going to be able to cross the river. So
so they let us take it,
and
which has a ton of sites in it. So that's nice.
And it gives us access to this lake too, which is also nice. And these guys Can't take it either, so because they're in this like life and death struggle with. Pinpappy, which is the Movark nation. This nation is the Hell-herding nation.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we're looking to take both of these lakes pretty soon.
So I think it's a good point to wrap up, because the conspicuously absent subject for this episode has been Mammon, our western neighbors.
Yeah.
I think part of why we're so reluctant to even consider fighting or bullying Ctalis into giving us anything, or going after, betraying our eastern neighbors, is because, we are afraid that Manon could attack us at any time.
I think, too, if we fall to Mammon, they have 2 weak neighbors that are fighting. I think they win the game if we fall, because they would then eat part of us, and then they would eat their weak neighbors, and then who's really going to fight them?
Yeah.
And I mean, it might not be that simple, but it might just be that simple. So
yeah. Manon scales, we have a better late game scaling than they do, but their middle game is stronger than ours.
Maybe.
So, well, middle before
we scale in different ways. Yeah, we scale in different ways.
We scale in different ways. Yeah. We should start to really dive into this in our next episode here.
Yeah. All right. So tune back in next time, guys, and we will talk about how we scale compared to Mammon. And because I guess the spoiler is we're about to go into a kind of dormant phase. And so a lot of the things that are happening are us thinking about how we scale relative to them, when we're weak relative to them, what our research targets are going to be to minimize that, when we'll be strong enough to fight them, those sorts of things. Mm-hmm. So
tune in next time for a lot of theory crafting.
Yep. All right. See y'all then.
All right. Take care, everyone.